What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna get on some tank work. We gotta find out where we're gonna put this battery. Let's get going. What is up, guys? So off camera I got quite a bit of little small end things done that really weren't video worthy. Here you can see we went ahead, got the bracket ready to go for the airbag. So this is where the seat will go, airbag mount. A Schrader valve comes off of the bottom there. What that means is you're able to pump this airbag up with a bicycle pump, or really just by releasing the air out of it. I can bring the seat down or I can bring the seat up, however I want it to be cushiony. Right now there's nothing in it. You can see it lets air come out the bottom. This part will bolt to the top of the seat. Went ahead and I have the bracket tacked on there for now. I did go ahead and TIG weld the bottom of the chain stays. MIG welded them on the inside of here. I am gonna go ahead and TIG weld that up here so that I can get that to look like, I want that looking like one piece. Once it's all clean and ground down, it'll look just like one all together frame. So it's not gonna, mess with it or anything. Other than that, got a little bit more of the bottom bracket TIG welded on. Gonna have to pull this thing, is out in my way. I cannot get the torch in there to TIG, so I'm gonna have to try to do that outside. Hopefully it's not gonna be a big issue. I'm gonna put braces from here to here and there to there, almost triangular braces, just to give it some extra support with that back, with that torque movement. If I'm putting a lot of torque into the pedals, I want to make sure that that's protected. But frame is looking pretty cool. So far you guys seem to be digging the series and I appreciate it. Some questions I've been getting is what's the range going to be, and I'm not, in battery life, and I'm not super concerned with that kind of stuff. This was more to get shown, and it'll be ridden here and there, but it also, your boy's got bad knees, and I don't know if you know that. I played basketball since I was about 10 years old, and I wasn't real kind to my body, so bad knees. This should help, I hope, because when I try to go on long rides, halfway through my knee's done. So I've never had a mid-drive before. I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, enough chit chat from me. Let's pull this off the jig, finish TIG welding everything, and get working on the tank. Okay, so quick idea on what I'm doing is I want to make the bottom tray part all one piece. I don't want to have to tack them together. This wasn't long enough, so I just did it this way. I should be able to lock everything down on the table and bend it. It's only 18 gauge. It's still pretty thick, but good enough. I wanted something that I could TIG weld on. The box is mainly for the battery. So it's gonna be basically like a tank. The battery will sit inside. This is only going to be a tank shell. The outside will actually have bolt-on side plates, which I'm going to do something really cool with, so stay tuned on that. But we need to right now transfer this paper into metal and then get the mounting tabs ready so that they're going to mount from underneath. We'll riv nut into the 18 gauge so that all you got to do is slide it on, bolt it, good to go. part of the tank pretty much done, and I was able to make most of it out of one piece except for back here. It's just too sharp of a bend. So I tacked it on the inside. I'll come in and smooth it out. Like I said, you're not gonna see this portion of the tank really because there's gonna be a cover over it. I got these here. Same thing that I'm gonna use on the bottom bracket. I'm gonna round these off, and then those will sit right in there. And what you wanna make sure though is that you have enough room to run a bolt through the other side and that you're not gonna hit the frame right here. So I've done this kind of tank work before where you get too close and then you can't get a bolt in. So you wanna make sure you have plenty of room. I did 4 inches wide on the tank. It's gonna be 4 inches wide all the way through. And you also wanna just make sure that you find center. Find center, drill some holes. I'm gonna round these off real quick, run some holes through these, and then we'll probably just give these a little tack weld on there, just because I would like to bolt this down and then make this top piece here, which isn't gonna be too difficult. Then we're gonna need to make some tabs. I was going to form the tabs into the tank, but decided that I'll just weld some on here, and then that's how the other tank's gonna bolt, or the tank plate will bolt up to this here is just by that. So when it's time for like a battery charge, all you gotta do is take a couple bolts off, the face comes off, you're good to go. Hey guys, I am so sorry for the interruption, but if you could you click that subscribe button for me? Also, turn on your bell notifications. That way you catch all the content as I post it. And if you want to check out anything early, head over to my Instagram. I post things there probably quicker than you're going to see them here. Thanks, guys. Alright guys, hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. Right now, I was able to bolt in. The tabs are just tack welded on, that's fine for now, but we're getting the shape. Now I'm gonna work on that top piece. I got everything close to the frame, so everything's pushed into the frame there, and then you can see down in here. Like I said, I'm not concerned. I really don't want the tank touching the frame really, because when I slide it in and out, I don't want to mess up the powder coat once that's done. I may never need to remove the tank, but if I do, I don't want it scratching every time I go in and out. And I may end up running some sticky rubber right in here and under the bottom, because you don't want to hear that while you're riding either. Yeah, so let's grab some cardboard and make the top. And there you go, guys. The tank is basically done, but not really, because you know I'm not leaving this flat panel looking like that. No way. I've got some tricks up my sleeve that I hope works. You'll have to wait and see. We definitely put in the work today, and your boy's tired. So tomorrow I think we'll come back down. We've got a lot of finish welding to do. I am not gonna bore you guys with all my TIG welding and all that. So I'm gonna pull it down tomorrow, finish welding it, and then I'll show you what we're going to be doing with the tank. See you tomorrow. All right, guys, new day, and I know I keep saying I need to take the frame out of the jig so I can finish weld it. I'm gonna do that, I promise, but I'm really just trying to dial this tank in. I did go ahead, all that's been welded, so the brackets are on. Here's the tank right now. I ended up adding another support brace down the center, a very thin one that I can still get the battery in and out, no problem. Reason I did that is to get rid of some of that tin. So that's done, but now the tank fits in the frame, but it fits in the frame tightly. So after powder coat, it isn't gonna fit. So I have a couple options. Start over, not an option. Figure out maybe doing some grinding and clearancing up in here. Again, not a good option. Option I might be going with is bolting the tank in, taking the side plates off and leaving it in there when it goes to powder. Let them powder everything. My only concern is that getting powder up under here, getting powder in that area is gonna be difficult, but there's a gap once it's in there. It's just getting it in there is the tough part. Like I can't keep the tank plates on the side and slide it in there because this wants to move here and here. Everything else is super solid. It's touching up here and it's touching right there. So getting it in there, yeah, you understand where I'm coming from. But right now we're gonna work on the battery tray. My idea with the battery tray is I made this little plate here. It's gonna be elevated a little bit up off the inside so that I can have a strap go around it. So this is the plate. I'm gonna cut two of these out. They're gonna sit inside of the frame, inside of that tank like so, and then I'll have a center so that I can wrap the strap around the battery. Maybe able to run like 4 of these bad boys in there. Good idea. Anyway, let's break the tank back down, get this little bracket started, get it in there so that I can actually finish weld the frame, and then get on to the exciting stuff, because I got some cool stuff, hopefully, that I'm gonna be able to do to these tank plates. Wish me luck. Tray is in, and this stuff was tough, man, because this stuff is like so thin that you're trying to TIG in here and it is just wanting to, you can see where it's busting through the bottom. I'm gonna clean that up, but it is just warping this bottom panel, so I'm having to hammer and dolly it back to where it was. While it's hot, I'm gonna throw it up in there really quick, and hopefully that'll help gain the shape, because I'll just go ahead and bolt it down, but I need to be careful that the stainless steel bolts don't insert themselves into that aluminum and that heat and get stuck in there. Alright, so that part is done, and it definitely did some damage with the heat. The heat really warped it up, especially on the other side. I got it to fit, but it definitely made it to where the tank this part didn't want to sit on the way it did before, but I got it on there now. It's just a little tighter on this end than it is on this end, and that's just basically getting it bolted up. I think by heating it, it just, you know, what heat does, danced. But now finally, we can get on to the fun stuff. So the plan with the tank is, you're just gonna have to watch. Alright, did a quick little redo on the center. So what you guys have seen is I've cut the centers out of these tanks. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting this piece of aluminum here. This is a little thicker. This is probably 0.065 thick aluminum, so roughly 16-ish gauge, 14-ish gauge. This is super thin stuff. This is easy to bead roll. So really quick, I do want to give a super big special thanks to CGW. They have provided all my cutoff wheels, all my flap discs for this build, and their stuff is good. Still working on that code for you guys. They're not a distributor. They don't sell to the public, so they're trying to find a distributor in my area or around that will offer the code for us. So I'm working on that, but their stuff's top notch. Usually I have an issue cutting aluminum. I've not had an issue cutting aluminum with their cutoff wheels and their flap discs. Boom, perfect. Anyway, we need to get this stuff cut out. I just need to cut this trim out here. We're leaving that center alone. This is a backing plate to that, and you'll see what we're gonna do now. All right, not gonna make you watch, so quick transition. Boom, all right, and we need one more. Boom, all right. Now, time for the fun part. Let's show you what we're gonna do. Alright guys, so the idea in this is that we're going to add pleats or diamonds into just the center part of this tank. The way I see it in my head is that the cutout on the other piece, this will actually protrude through that. I can't bead roll metal that thick, but you can this thick. If you guys hadn't watched the previous episode, you do know that Eastwood, I am an affiliate with Eastwood Company, and they sent me this bead roller, and I'm gonna put a code up on the screen for you guys, Seaburg 10, if you wanna go to Eastwood Company, and I'll put a link in the description, and purchase yourself some tools. They've got this bead roller, but they've got, you know, you gotta know who they are. Eastwood Company, they do it all. So I'm gonna swap out the dies real quick. These are called art dies. So this is a rubber die that goes on the bottom, and then you have a die that goes on the top. This die is what's gonna make the indentation. This just allows it to kind of give it a little bit of a dome. So I'm gonna swap these out really quick, and then we'll put the step down dies back in to go around it, and hopefully it'll actually work out like I see in my head. Alright guys, so the battery went dead there, but I just wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of what I'm doing. Can you see the diamonds? Answer me. Yes? Okay, great. You can also see what that does to the panel. So, what we need to do is either put it on the shrinker stretcher and get it to lay flat, or just keep folding it over your leg. These diamonds will do that. But I do need to lay a stepper die all the way around that, and that's actually going to pull that up, but it's going to actually warp the outside. Not a super big deal, because once it's all done, this lays on top of here. This is going to be squeezed together. I'm going to have little teeny bolts that are going to bolt that on and bolt it to the plate, so it'll actually hold that down. But you guys are getting an idea kind of what I'm trying to do. Let's change out the stepper die real quick and get the other one done. So there's kind of an idea of what I'm talking about. I probably need to go over it and step one more time, just to probably widen the step a little bit more so that I can come up through. You do got to be careful though, because this little stepper, this little dude right here, can cut through that thinner metal. So you've got to be careful, because you can screw the whole piece up if I cut through it. But I think I'm going to run it through the stepper one more time, easily. Try to bring it up, because I want it to come up through here a little bit more. I want it to protrude out. Right now it's not really doing that, and that's also because it's concaving from where the pieces go, because you can see on the back all that diamond-y stuff. But still super cool. I think it's coming out pretty neat. Just gonna give it a little bit more stepper, and then what I'll probably do is drill a couple holes in here so that I can squeeze the stuff together and get a look, and we'll clean it all up and then I'll show you. And there you go guys, and that's it for this one. I'm still waiting on some more rib nuts and some 5mm bolts. That's what's gonna go in here. I just had some gold ones laying around, but there's gonna put some black ones. I still have something else I have to do to just this part of the tank, just the outside plate, but I gotta do it to the fender also, which I'll show you in a later episode, because I've never done it before and haven't seen it done before, not in the bike world anyway, so it's something that I get to try, and you guys can come along with me. But I hope you're digging this. I love the bead roll. You can feel the pleats in it, and it'll actually, once I'm able to bolt these on, it'll pull it more out, so it looks really good, and I'm super happy with it. Sorry this whole episode was basically on the tank, but this was a big part to the build. Making sure the battery was going to be in here, making sure it was hidden, stays away, nice and safe and dry. Important. We will have to worry about wiring and all that later, but again, that's later. We're still waiting on The wheels will be in by next episode, and hopefully the electronics will be in, and we're gonna figure out who we're going to be using, so that's exciting. Anyway, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you next week, maybe.